binding. Now, the other resolution, the three resolutions that you vetoed, were they also in the same kind of resolution?
So, Saeed, I'd have to go back and look at the provisions of those, but we vetoed them. So ultimately, they weren't the voice of the UN Security Council.
I'm saying if they are not binding, then why bother and veto it?
Because they carry weight and should be implemented, and so we want to see resolutions that pass ultimately reflect the policy positions of the United States, which is what I said yesterday. We came to the determination that this Security Council resolution, although it did contain or it lacked some provisions that we wanted to see, most notably condemning Hamas's actions on October 7th, that it called for two things that we support, a ceasefire and the release of hostages together. And so that's why we abstained from the resolution. We do believe that it carries weight and should be implemented.
But and I remember during the whole Iraq thing, there were 12 UN resolutions, and they were all binding. They were all binding every time, and the U.S. would be the first one to say it's binding. I mean, I worked in Iraq. I know exactly what was going on. So I'm saying that any UN resolution that passes, that is allowed to pass, is potentially can be utilized within the framework of Chapter 7.
Is there a question there, Saeed?
Yes, it is. I'm asking you. I mean, can you answer?
No, it's just there was a statement. I want to see if there's actually a question.
So, okay, let me reframe my question. Do you think
maybe
that this
ask one.
resolution can potentially be subject to Chapter 7?
We believe that the UN Security Council resolution carries weight and should be respected, as I said.
I have a couple of other questions, but I'll defer to others
Go ahead.
on Gaza.